That should honestly be illegal. It's like bribing people to be trans. You know what I mean? Bro, have you seen San Francisco? It's just littered with druggies and homeless people. Why would you not fucking change my gender to get my fix? Change my gender to get a fucking roof over my head, to get some food in my stomach? Yeah.
Subscribe to this channel. In case you are watching this channel and you have not subscribed.
Okay, meanwhile, I have to give you the dumbest and most hilarious story of the day. I do love this story. According to the UK Daily Mail, photos obtained by the Daily Mail show how a person named Kay LeClaire was able to transform herself over the course of just 2 years from a white college student to an indigenous two-spirit, fooling even some in the Native American community. LeClaire
The world's turning into a South Park episode, man. It's
identified themselves on Facebook as a white woman in July 2017 as they spoke of they nuptials with Adam Pagenkopf the following summer. But by 2019, they publicly identified as a Native American two-spirit, which is a term many indigenous people use to describe a non-binary gender identity. Now, I do have to point out here that not only is this absurd and silly on its face, it is hysterical that the media has to continue calling this obviously female person a they, but can also point out they're not Native Americans. If a person says, I'm a Native American two-spirit and I wish to be called they, instead of everybody just saying, we're not going to pay attention to any of that, we're just going to call you a white lady because you're a white lady. Instead, the media is like, no, we will call you they. We're just going to draw the line at saying that you're indigenous. The
honestly,
good news.
I don't understand how race is more offensive than gender. There should be more people affected by gender. Is it because it's more specific? It's more of a group. It's more of a niche that only these people can agree with, that it's hard for people to dismantle it? Or is it just because, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense how race is a bigger deal than genders. It's maybe because of all the racial wars and stuff. Maybe that, but there's always been gender wars. Even before race wars, there was gender wars. So I don't get how race is more offensive than gender.
For Kay LeClaire is that eventually she'll end up presumably being a senator from Massachusetts. That's the way this works. If you pretend to be Native American, then you can run for president eventually. LeClaire even went on to co-found a queer indigenous artist collective in Wisconsin and started buying Native American art from Etsy, which they would pass off as their own and sell to unsuspecting buyers. Man, wokeness, they say go woke, go broke, but the truth is that if you're talking about catering to a particularly stupid crowd, go woke, make a little bit of money. Go woke, claim victimhood, you do okay.
That's what I was saying about that Dylan Mulvaney in a video, and people got so butthurt about it. But it's a hustle. She might have done that shit on purpose, or because she actually genuinely wanted to. But you can't tell me that there aren't trans porn stars, trans sex workers, trans lonely people, and you can't tell me there aren't trans people that aren't doing it because they couldn't get sexual desire or because they wanted money. Like, bro, my girl's mom works with someone at her work that is dating a trans woman that used to be a man, but they're perfectly fine. They have kids and everything, but he leaves to go slut himself out for money, and he comes back and has an average day. It's like a part-time job. Is that not fucking insane? Just thinking about it, man. It's like, oh, fucking shit. Men are money hungry, status hungry individuals. We will do anything. Well, obviously, most men won't, but every man will do a lot, and that a lot can go from life and death to getting fucked in the bum.
It used to be in the more racist days of the United States that people, in order to escape the evils of racism, would sometimes attempt to pass as members of the white race. Right? And that was an indicator of the evils of America's racial caste.
I feel like that's the only way it'll be okay, is if any minority changes their skin color to white. 'Cause I feel like it'd be like, oh, I get it, white privilege. You want white privilege? It makes sense. But even though it's fucking bullshit, but I could see it potentially working.
And there's a real thing that used to happen. Now you have white people attempting to pass themselves off as members of minorities, which should tell you something about the social circumstances surrounding race in the United States right now. You don't see a lot of black Americans attempting to pass themselves off as white, but you do see a lot of white Americans attempting to pass themselves off as members of minorities to thereby gain victimhood status in the new racial hierarchy of intersectionality. Some in the Native community have now said they had their suspicions about LeClaire, who went from a light-haired brunette to a tan woman with dark hair over the course of just a few years. LeClaire was ultimately forced to step down from their community positions last month after it came to light that they were actually a pretendian, a term natives use for people who pretend to have indigenous lineage.
Dare? I didn't know Dare was. I thought Dare was only a thing in middle school. Is it the same Dare, or is he talking about something else?
It's unclear whether they will face charges for their false claims, as profiting off a false Native American identity is a federal crime. By the way, that's kind of fascinating. That if you profit off a false Native identity, that's somehow a federal crime. But if you profit off another false identity, like saying pretending you're a man or a two-spirit,
right,
or you're a man, you pretend you're a woman, that's not a federal crime.
If you didn't know, I'll cut this part out if I'm wrong. I'll look it up whenever I'm editing. But if you didn't know, San Francisco is now allowing trans people a monthly income of $1,200 no matter what. As long as you trans and you live in San Francisco, you get $1,200 a month. Ain't that fucking insane? That's fucking crazy. That should honestly be illegal. It's like bribing people to be trans. You know what I mean? Bro, have you seen San Francisco? It's just littered with druggies and homeless people. Why would you not? Can change my gender to get my fix, change my gender to get a fucking roof over my head, to get some food in my stomach. Yeah, that should be illegal, man. You're literally bribing people to change their identity.
Advanced Smite, a hobbyist genealogist, has laid out how Leclerc has claimed to have Meti Oneida, Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Cuban, and Jewish heritage. And a little bit of Jewish at the end, just for the fun of it. The anonymous genealogist told Madison 365 they first became aware of Leclerc through a Facebook ad for the upcoming talk on indigenous feminism. It identified Leclerc under her native name, Nibiwakamigkwe, which Advanced Smite said they found unusual because given the Ojibwe name is typically something that would be just used in ceremony or with other people who are Ojibwe or a part of your community, it's weird that you're publicly using it. Advanced Smite, who is also of indigenous heritage, conducted some research and found that while Leclerc is a common Native American last name, there were social media posts in which they identified as Anishinaabe. The genealogist then discovered that Leclerc had previously claimed to be Cuban. So this person seems to be some sort of sociopath seeking to take advantage of the woke status in modern America.
I don't mean to sound offensive by saying this, but let me state by saying this first. I do believe that there are genuinely people who want to be the opposite gender, and I do believe that maybe I can see it being possible that people are born in the wrong gender. But with that being said, there is no way all these motherfuckers feel like that. There's no way in hell. What would you call, what kind of mental disability or mental trauma or what kind of mental problems do you have to where you want this type of welcoming, exception, nurturing, caring delusion to fester and become reality in your head? Because it can't be like multiple personality disorder, because they only have one disorder if it is a disorder. It can't be PTSD or depression or anything like that. Well, maybe it could be. Like I said, I don't know. But I just wouldn't assume it would be like some type of emotional disease, like trauma. I'd assume it has to be like some type of chemical imbalance or something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But I feel like it has to be something major wrong with your head to where you're just so full set on this fucking ideology. Like I said, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm genuinely curious on that.
It is bizarre. It's bizarre stuff. And again, says less about this human being because there are lots of crazy people in the United States and much more about the incentive structure in the United States right now. The supply of racism does not meet the demand for racism. And so people are now claiming to be members of minority status, just so that they can claim to be victims in American society. Totally wild. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now.
If that don't show you anything about today's society, about how people are trying to change their race now, bruh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's more crazy, people changing their gender or people changing their race, because it seems kind of like in the same ballpark. But who am I? I'm a white cis man, so I'm a idiot. I don't know shit. I'm a bigot. If I don't care, bro. I don't really fucking care. People can comment and say what they want. I know what's in my heart, and I know how I truly feel, and I don't have any ill will towards anybody. But with all that said, please like the video. If you got anything to say about the video, anything to say to me, any comments, any suggestions, you want to answer my questions that I've had this video, please comment down below. I'll read every single comment, even the ones in the filtered. If you want to talk shit, I'll read it. And if you want to help me grow, if you want to help this channel blow up, please share the video, share it with your buddies, share it on TikTok, share it however you want to. If you like I said, if you don't have to do it, obviously you don't have to do shit, but I would appreciate it. And if you will you please give your boy a subscription? They're free, they're unlimited, they're much appreciated, and I would love you greatly for it. But with all that said, deuces.
I won't speak up on it, but that's just how it's supposed to be. She thinks she leeching proudly, but she won't get nothing from me. Say you love me, I doubt it. I'll fuck around and pay the fee. It's a whole lot of hate up in your eyes that I
hand on my